All right, JD Atkins here with AO Football Chat. We're excited to be here day 2 at the online clinic with Chief Pigskin. Sitting here with my co-host Will Johnson, and we are sitting down this morning with head coach Bryan Moore of Opelika High School. Coach, how you doing today?
Good, man. How are y'all?
Good, man. Good.
Tell the people what you're talking about today.
Yeah, talking about program management, really some organizational stuff, talking about some role clarifications for head coaches, support staff, assistant coaches, administrators, teachers, really everybody's role. I think that's an discussed topic, and I think it's something I'm passionate about as far as, what people can bring to the table and getting the most from them. And then lastly, getting a little offensive football, talking about some moving parts and how to be really multiple with certain guys and fitting skill sets within your scheme foundation and how we build that from the ground up.
Coach Moore, you just said got introduced as the head coach of the Opelika Dogs there, Coach. You just left Hartselle and took over at Opelika. How's that transition been for you?
It's spinning right now. It's good. It's exciting and new, and, people are in and hungry there and, ready for, getting back to the tradition-rich football program that's there and, the relationships that we've had. And so it's cool. It's surreal. I started my career there. Spent 8 years there, and so that gave me sort of a leg up as far as community connection and, as far as knowing people and having relationships previously built. You don't usually go into a job and really know anybody, and so that's been huge. And so it's just been about evaluating people, and but it's all about kids at the start. It's personnel driven. It'll always be about kids, but right now specifically, it's about getting strong and getting in that weight room and creating a culture there, and then getting back to the winning ways. I think when you miss the playoffs 2 years in a row, that's something that the kids that are going to be seniors have never made the playoffs. You think about that. They don't really play varsity football when they're ninth graders there. It's 10 through 12, and so that's something you got to rebuild and get that back into them. But they're hungry for that. They understand that's the legacy they want to leave. At Opelika, that their brothers and uncles and granddads and dads all left that mark. And that's been a really, really winning tradition there, and just hoping to get back there. But that's the the kids are the priority right now.
Yes, sir.
Coach, you've had stops now at Eufaula and Jasper and Hartselle where you've gone in and really increased the success level at those schools. You talk about bringing that winning culture back to Opelika. What does that process look like when you step in? What things are you hitting first? What are kind of your top priorities?
I think people come in with guns blazing sometimes, and the first priority is to learn and to figure out what the culture is and sort of immerse yourself into what's been going on there, because there's a lot of good there too. There's a lot of guys I've worked with that are already there, worked with previously. There's a lot of great coaches there and great administrators and great players there. And so you learn and sort of take in all of, what that school already is doing well before you go in and just blow it up. I think people need to be cautious about that. I think, you go in and evaluate everything that's going on and just learn. And then, show kindness and compassion of what they've already done. You don't go in and say, well, we got to change all that. That's not the way you operate. And but you do put your mark on it. But as you go, you start to figure out what the strengths and weaknesses are. And obviously, you start to build on those strengths and sort of try to enhance those weaknesses to not get you beat, when I'm evaluating and seeing those, I've been there 3 weeks. Some things are glaring and some things are not. Some things will come to the surface later. But that's the key, is every school is different. Every setup is different. But Opelika, again, is special and has an opportunity to be successful immediately.
Coach Moore, obviously I've spent a year with you at Hartselle, and I've been asking this question to everybody that's come in. I want to know your why. Why did you get into coaching? Why are you coaching football? I think I'm going to know the answer, but I just want to give you an opportunity to speak on that.
Yeah, it's about kids, man. It's about connection and people, and we love to win too. That's a byproduct of the relationships and how you treat people. It's about creating consistent, accountable young men. That can do right and do well and be successful in life. Because again, even at Opelika with talented kids, most of them aren't going to play college football. Most of them are going to be put out in the world, and I own the fact that my name is on those guys when they leave. Who did you play for? And then own the coaches and how I try and help them in their careers and what they want to do and accomplish, and then just be a light for that community. Get in that school, get in the lunchroom, get in, go see business owners and go to those kids' houses and meet their parents and try to figure out, so much of the problems that we see are based on the needs that the kids have and like the lack of something. So if a kid hasn't eaten breakfast, it's hard for him to come in and crush a workout and learn and listen to a teacher when he's hungry or tired. Or there are needs, like basic needs that kids have, that you have to start to figure out. And until you sort of pull back the layers and figure out what's going on in that kid's life, you have no ability to assess, or to help him as a football player. Football is like the last part of that. There's basic life needs that kids have, and they have them at Opelika and anywhere else, but you have to understand what those are and help to feel that as a coach. That's the impact for my wife and I, and what we want to do in our family. And we completely, and you guys saw it, we completely put ourselves, we're vulnerable, we're open, we're in the community, almost sometimes to a fault, to when you do leave a job, there are some hurt feelings because everybody thought, well, they're so invested, they're going to be here forever. And that's the hard part. But you have to do it that way because it is about people, and ultimately at the end of the day, it's about the impact and the legacy you leave.
Yes, sir.
Coach, there's a lot of younger coaches and coaches coming up through the ranks that will listen to this and listen to these podcasts on top of all the other coaches we see at other clinics and do the Twitter chat on Thursday nights. What would you tell them as far as, their goals, their aspirations are probably one day to sit where you're sitting or in something similar? What would you tell them to be focused on right now and doing right now?
Well, first off, I hate to be cliche, but be where your feet are. First, do the very best job you can in the role that you're currently in. And, make sure that you are focused and loyal and pushing for whatever the vision is or the mission is of that head coach. First, support that person and make do everything you can to make their job successful and what their mission is. That's first. Secondly, continue to learn and grow, but it's not just I caution, and my talk today is proof of this, 2/3 of my talk is about management and development, basically, about organization and people. The last leg of it is about football. The football piece, it's crazy to say, but it's the easy part. I mean, getting and being at going to clinics and, learning in venues like this and, through platforms like this, that's the easy part. The hard part is putting it into practice, like taking what you learned and what you saw and making it yours, and like continuing with who you are within the new ways of doing things. I caution people of sort of living in a Twitter universe. It's great, and it is an avenue for growth. However, there's still people and relationships involved, and things that you have to put in practice within the parameters of what your administration gives you and what your community is willing to give you. You have to make it yours. And again, the 4 communities that I've been in, that have been the head coach for those 4 schools, they're all different. They look different. Their secondary sports are different. Their financial resources are different. All those are they're the level of player and the level of opponent is all different. And you have to figure out how that works with where you are at that moment.
Coach, as this offseason rolls along, I know you've made a change and everything's kind of spinning for you, but obviously I know you're still going to be trying to get better and learn different things. Who are some people that you're studying, maybe college, maybe high school, whatever it may be? Who's some people you're studying? What are you doing to kind of grow this offseason?
Well, the first is to study Opelika,
no
and what they are good at and not good at. Like I said, learning that. I love, the resources are endless now. The 49ers, I love Kyle Shanahan and what he does, and McVay and that whole Shanahan tree. Mike McDaniel and those guys are all great. And I think that actually, college football obviously is big time too, and the study at Lane Kiffin and those guys, what they were able to do. But I do think the pro game is actually pretty closely related to the high school game in a program overall standpoint, from like roster size to how many guys have to play multiple special teams and stuff like that. So, I'm big into the management piece now. I've got, hopefully we'll hire guys that can handle the offensive, defensive day to day, and I love the special teams piece. I think that's a gap closer, for us right now. But just, tons of stuff, and then listening to stuff like this, and going and watching other high school coaches, going to clinic in Montgomery at the end of the week next week, and going to listen to those guys and learn from them, and some of the college guys too. But yeah, I think it's about growth. But again, I caution people of just being football only. Learn the program piece and the management side of it too.
Yes, sir.
Coach, we really appreciate you being here today. We're fired up to listen to your presentation later on today. Again, this is the online clinic with Chief Pigskin here with Will Johnson and AL Football Chat. Thank you, Coach Moore, for being here.
Thank you, brother.